Yo, yo, yo. Jeff, you there? Hey.
Oh, all right. Can you get me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yo, I don't know what just happened. Mid song, I'm like, what's going on?
I don't know what happened.
Hey,
I
bro.
was like, oh, 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 we back. Or we not back?
So I think I've reached one of those moments in my computer where it's like, hey, it's time for you to restart me. I think that's where we are.
Oh, yeah.
Like way too many tabs. I mean, like I feel like we all get there, right? Like too many tabs are open. You haven't restarted me in like a month
Right.
or two or three. I don't remember the last time I restarted my computer.
Right.
So has that ever happened to somebody else? Is anybody else in that space where it's time to restart their computer?
So
I
I
can't be
do
the
think
only
I
one.
run into I just forget that you got to restart these things. Like in my mind, if I close it, the clamshell comes down.
Fam,
It's off. It's off. What am I needing to restart it for?
like
But
see to
I
me,
do I do think my computer tries to yell at me sometimes and says,
like
"The hell,
when you
man!"
close your eyes, you go to sleep, right?
Right? Like
I'm
I'm.
confused as to why my computer don't operate the same way. Like I put you to sleep.
Hey, my work laptop tells me every 15 minutes I'm about to go on and take this nap.
Hey, bro.
I'm like, what? I'm in the middle of a meeting. I'm talking. Yeah, but I'm about to go to sleep now. Bye bye.
It was
And
about
it just
we
shuts
was
out.
about to have one of these episodes where you started to show off by yourself because I was about to have to restart this computer.
Hey, I was trying to figure out what happened at first. I was like, oh, black screen. Never seen that before. New problems, new problems. I
Hey,
live for new problems as long as they ain't old problems. You know what I mean?
so I think it's safe to say, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get this hard hour in, and then Jeff gonna restart his computer before he knocks out a couple work things.
Hey, that's what you got to do sometimes. You got to do what you got to do to get the work done. That's all I'm saying. But nah, what's going on out there, man? How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. Doing real good, man. I was good weekend. I mean, obviously, you and I saw each other was it yesterday?
Man, the days where the kids be out of school just throws everything off. So yes, that was indeed yesterday. That was yesterday, Sunday. We went to the Atlanta Fair down by Center Park Stadium.
Hood.
It was kind of rough. It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't. It was oddly very expensive, right? Like
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad you felt that because I almost titled this episode the ripoff
the ripoff.
because I
It
just
was. There were some things. There were some things like I'm parking across the street from the fair that's in a parking lot, and not even like a large parking lot, but a parking lot, and it was like 20 for parking.
20 for off the rip, right? 20 for parking. We ain't walked up to the gate yet.
20 for parking, and then 8 to get in per person, including kids, right? Kids was
I
like
think the kids was a little cheaper. I think Coop and Avery might have been like $3.
three
Maybe.
dollars for the kids,
Yeah.
but then $8 for the adults, and then you had to buy tickets on top of that. And the ticket economy is weird, man. Like I didn't get it. Like if you think about it, it was like what, $1 per ticket, right?
Yeah.
Roughly, right? Or
Yep.
$30 for a band,
For the
right?
band.
So when your kid gets on a 2 ticket ride, that's like $2. $2 to do the ride,
Yeah.
right?
And
If you
then,
want to ride with them, that's a $4 ride. And
yep.
some of these rides ain't $4 rides though.
See, here go my issue, right? Like the dudes, this is not the carny people, cool
Right.
people, right? I ain't knocking your hustle. But like they be taking the tickets. At the end of the night, does the supervisor come around and count the tickets?
No, but that one dude was set tripping though.
Right. Like,
One
bro,
dude on the
we had,
carousel. We
you
gave
talking about
this dude,
for the merry-go-round joint.
yeah, for the merry-go-round joint. We gave this dude like 10 tickets, and everybody got on. Everybody was getting on. All the people in our group was getting on this ride. Dude came back and said, "Sir, you didn't give me enough tickets." And
But
I'm
he
like,
didn't
"Oh,
count the
what
tickets.
is on here?" You're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The fair, I don't know. But
So,
if we're gonna talk about kind of ripoffs, right? I think you got to bring up Stone Mountain and some of these other things that
right.
happen around fall. Danielle loves these things, and like I love that she loves these like events because she's always like finding really cool things to um, engage kids and engage us and everybody with. And so we found this thing at uh, Stone Mountain, which essentially instead of offering you like a holiday, like a Halloween event, and then going to like the holiday, Christmas holiday event thing. They just said it's a season pass, but this thing ends up being like $70 or something.
Yep.
It's like crazy. And you're like, how many times I'm coming up here
That's
over and over again?
I mean, we live so you know what the crazy joint is when we lived in Loganville / Auburn, the last two spots we lived in, like they don't even let you, like that. Well, one time we got away with taking her mom's tag off of her car,
Hmm.
but then they was like, yo, they won't even allow you to remove, like if you got a sticker that's been removed off the window,
That's crazy.
they ain't letting you use it. If you ain't never put the sticker on the window, like my mother-in-law tried to get away with it and never put the sticker on the window, just kept it in a Ziploc bag.
Right.
Nah, that's a no-go.
You can't tape it to the window
You
and then
can't take no. It has to be adhered to the window.
that's whack.
Yeah. So we did. We took the kids like 2 weeks ago to get pumpkins at the pumpkin patch in Lawrenceville. Same deal, right? They wanted maybe 10 ahead. Babies got in free. Then it was 25 for the tickets, but
But
they
are
ticket
you paying for the
economy was way
pumpkin?
worse, huh?
Are you paying for the pumpkin?
And you had to pay between the little pumpkins, like might have been $1, but like the bigger pumpkins, right? Like the pumpkins you put outside of your house, starting price was $10 and up.
Yeah, I
Oh
just
yeah,
nickel and diamond, man.
man, they're gonna cut you. You gonna get caught up at the pumpkin joints for at least 100 off the rip.
That's crazy.
At least 100, right? Because I got 2 kids, so
Right.
like leaving with one pumpkin was not an option.
Yeah. No, no, that was crazy. So
So you
a
lose
holiday.
off the rip.
It's a holiday season, man. They just be trying to get out all this money. And like some of these ones, I'm like, oh, it's a corn maze. I don't want to do no corn maze. What do I want to do that for?
Bam,
I want to get lost in no cornfield.
bam.
That's creepy. That's how people die. That's how black people die in movies. I ain't going. Nope.
I ain't doing it. I ain't
I'm
doing it. So yeah, Keisha, we talking about the pumpkin patches. Yeah. So like that's the struggle, man. It's like you want to take your kids and you want to do all these nice things with them, but who want to pay the grip to I gotta pay to park, gotta pay to get in, and then I got to buy tickets. And then you run around with the toddler who don't want to wait in line. And
for
so
others that just don't. I mean, this was a deal with the fair, man. You, you mess around and walk down the wrong side of a fair, and your kids are gonna stop at every game booth.
bam,
And you're like, no, you can't reach the basketball hoop. You just can't reach the basketball hoop. I don't know why. And then the carnies are there and they're like, hey man, it's $10 for a basketball shot. I'm not trying to pay $10. Look,
bam.
he's a little kid. He's
And then
4.
I
He's
just
not
told
gonna
my
get
kids straight
anywhere
up at
near.
the end, bro. I was like, yo, either you can pay to play this game or you can pay to get something at the little souvenir shop at the end. But I'm
Right.
not doing both.
Right.
I'm not now, you know me, I go for the carnival food because it
Right.
ain't none carnival food is A1, right?
Yeah,
Like
it is. I
carnival
mean,
food
it's
is
legendary.
top
You
tier food.
gotta kind of rock with the carny food, right?
Carney food is top tier, right? And so we talking about the one. So the carnival we went to was, over by Georgia State Stadium. And the lady who was selling turkey legs was like, yo, like we here all week. So if you want to come back and get a turkey leg or a pork chop or something like that, I'm like, y'all selling pork chops too? And so she was like, yeah, just pull up. Like it's, I guess what's that on the other side of the carny? 75, 85, that the merger lane.
Yeah.
She said, just pull over outside of the gate on the merger lane, come up to the fence, and we'll charge you and take your money through the fence and get you your food that way. And you ain't even got to come in here and pay the fuck.
Hell nah. They got people trying to do a drive-through at the Atlanta Fair.
Hey, bro. I mean, I ain't mad at it.
Hey, them fries was super fire though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not mad at this.
Parmesan fries, man. I was like, man, this is hitting the spot right here.
Damn, like the dude who be back there making the Polish sausages with the sausage and peppers.
Crazy.
They winning.
Crazy. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to some of the carny food, right? But then you got to know that it's just going to be crazy. Like that turkey leg was like, what, 20, 25?
Yeah,
right?
It was 35 for two.
What? Right? It was like, how much is a turkey leg at the store?
Man.
Right?
Man.
Y'all getting over. That's cool though. That's cool though. I mean, do your thing. I don't know how often y'all do this. I'm really curious of how this goes for y'all time and time again. But hey, do your thing. You know what I mean?
But my man at the turkey leg spot had a line.
He did. Well, see, I think what they rely on is when somebody goes and gets one, they gotta then that's their advertising, right? Because you admittedly, when I go look at like any of these fairs or thing, if you ain't got no line, I ain't getting your food.
No, I ain't getting food.
I don't want it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you're just super efficient feeding people, but it seems like nobody wants your food. I don't want your food. I don't want that food. I want the food with a line around the corner. That's the food I want. And I don't want to wait in the line either. That's the problem. See? So
yeah, no.
I don't know how to reconcile these things.
Yeah. Anywho, that's all I had about the fair, bro. Good times. It was good seeing you guys. Obviously, I love to see Ram Dog.
It was good seeing y'all, man. I think tackling things like that in groups. And what I'm really doing is kind of every time we go to a fair, I'm kind of figuring out, are we ready for Disney?
We are not.
And it gives me the shakes, man. It gives me the shakes.
We're not.
I don't even want to try Disney.
We're not.
Like, I just don't feel like I have the stamina.
We're not ready for Disney. Like that's the reality of where we are.
And like to be stuck in Disney, you know what I mean? Like I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine.
We're not ready for it. And that's okay, right? So I mean, y'all know we taking the kids. So Candace and I, Avery the baby, is like Mickey Mouse's top tier for him right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went back and forth on, do we take the kids to Disney? Do we not take the kids to Disney? Yada, yada, yada. And so finally we settled on a Disney cruise. So Thanksgiving, we're going to do the Disney cruise. I feel like we should be able to kill two birds with one stone here. Like, we don't get to go to the park, but my man gets to see the characters, which is all he really wants.
Right.
My son just wants to swim in pools and stuff. My older one just want to get in the pools and do fun stuff. Right. So we can push off Disney for 2 years when they a little older and can understand the concept of waiting in line. I don't know. Anybody that's taking it to Disney, I would love to have y'all's tips in the comment section.
I feel that same way. I mean, I am curious to see what our guest, what our co-host, I don't know what we call it, their guest of the show.
Yeah, guest of the show.
Because there's something about like the impatience thing that's like, I don't feel like having to explain every time we go to a ride that you can't ride the ride absolutely right now. You know what I mean?
And I want to go to Disney. I've never been, right? I've never been to
Disney World.
Never been to Disney. Never been to Disney.
Dang. Yeah.
So I legitimately want to go. I want to do it, right? But what I ain't willing to do, Mom already talking about, no, these kids savages.
Yeah. They ain't gonna stress me out to you. You know what I'm saying? Like
I just
I'm not
can't.
about to
I'm
go.
not ready for that smoke yet.
I'm not ready. Yeah, that's exactly. The only way I'm gonna go to Disney World is if I go with a whole community of people and I have a flask of the best liquor that I could have, and I
But
can
see,
get it.
Keisha talking about you got to buy the skip the line joints. But even if you
That's
buy the
not
skip the line
business. This is
joints,
Disney World. This is the big leagues, Keish. That's the
that's
big
what I'm
league.
saying. It's still a line
Everybody.
at the skip the line joint, right?
It's a line to get to the skip the line joint. Like, really, what you really want at Disney, nobody can afford. You want the guy. You want the guy who
Yeah,
walks you up and says, They go next.
yeah.
Go next. Hey, y'all, come on. Come on. Let's go. That's the thing you want, right? No, nobody. That thing like $20,000 to do the
So
thing.
you remember like a couple? I think when you and I talked about this early in one of them early episodes of the pod, where people got in trouble because they were paying, where parents got in trouble because they was given, they were essentially selling their child with special needs to families to go to the park
Oh
to
no!
skip the
Wow!
line.
Whoa!
You
Yeah,
ain't, bro, we talked about this.
I think
This
we
was
did.
two,
That
3 years
does
ago.
sound familiar. Yeah.
This was like 2 or 3 years ago. Like families was like renting out their kid in a wheelchair so that the parents, so that families could skip the line. And I'm like, if that's the lengths that we have to go to so that we can have a decent time at the park without having to wait in line all day,
Right.
I'm not ready for that.
Yeah. I just can't do it. I
Yeah.
can't do it. Right. I'm looking this up. So Disney has a crowd calendar so that you can plan your park days. Right. So you know what time of year is it going to be busy down there. Right. Then they have the lightning lane and the virtual queue. Right. And it's like, this is already getting complicated very quickly, right?
That's what I'm saying. And then so I got a couple friends of mine that's like, yo, when you go, we go to Disney every year. Like this is what they do. They go to Disney every year. And it's like, let me
Yeah.
know. I'll plan your trip for you. You tell me what rides you want to get on. I'll give you an itinerary and a schedule, right? And I will book all of your reservations. And then they was like, yo, you got to be paid in full before you can start booking your reservations for restaurants. But
Now,
fam,
see, like I've been to Disney World a few times. The thing I always wanted to do was stay in the hotel that the train goes through, right? I don't know what the name of the hotel is. I just know when you get on the tram, it goes through a hotel. I wanted to stay there, right? I wanted to stay there because it seemed like you lived inside the park and it seemed like it was super bomb. But I know for sure that even when I was younger, I was like, man, Splash Mountain said I gotta come back in 3 hours. And then you can't like put a reserve in on another ride. So you just sitting there like, what am I gonna
fam.
do? I'm gonna walk around. We're gonna explore around here. And I'm with Keisha, right? Like I'd rather go as an adult. I'd rather go as an adult.
So that mean you so all right, so devil's advocate though, I agree. I would rather go as an adult as
I
well.
just I just want to go as an adult. I just want to,
So that means we ain't taking our kids, right? And then like then my kids ain't gonna get the experience until they become adults.
yeah, that's cool.
Dang, fam. I
Yeah,
can't. Like so eventually I'm gonna muster up the courage to figure this out. But they like, oh, don't go during school, summer breaks or school breaks. And I mean, I got to take my kid out of school for a week to go to Disney.
yeah, you do. You do.
Like, bro, like that's insane.
Hey, I'm cool with kids not going to Disney till they about till it's whack, right? That's when I want to take them.
So it
When
was, so you want them to be old enough that they could go off on their own and then be like, "Hey, I got your bracelet. Answer your damn phone. I know
I
where you
want
at."
to actually, that makes perfect poetic sense to me. That they're old enough to where I could be like, all right, look, here's your phone. Here is your Find My iPhone or your Apple Tag or
Yeah,
whatever,
okay.
right? Check this. We about to go over to Marvel. We gonna meet at this restaurant at 2 o'clock. If you there, we'll pay for your food. If we ain't there, here's $15. Best of luck.
Bro, $15 ain't getting you nothing but a bag of fries.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
A bag of fries
That's the,
is some warm water.
that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Don't
Hey,
get into trouble. Don't embarrass me out here. I'll see y'all at the restaurant at 2 o'clock. And if I don't, peace be unto you, brother.
you getting lukewarm water
Yeah,
and an apple slice
they'll be all right.
for 15.
They gonna get a churro
No,
and
they
some
not,
water.
not for $15. I'm telling you, they go. I
Hey,
guarantee you,
you
they'll
know
get
what else?
3 apple slices and some lukewarm water for $15.
You know what else that means? They
They gonna
can't
meet you for
afford.
dinner.
They can't afford to get into trouble. That's what they.
See,
You
my
broke.
issue with Disney, and even this is the same with the cruise, is I don't think they sell liquor on the cruise.
What?
Yeah, so they was like, yo, you can like they sell beer and wine, and you can bring 6 bottles every time we pour. So I can bring 6 bottles per
Why do
person.
why do people act like beer and wine is a step up from hard liquor?
Like I can get done, I can get there just as quick.
Like I just don't understand. Like, why do you want me to drink your Coors Light that you done got up in
Natty Ice.
the Natty Ice over and over again, but you're gonna act like Cabernet Sauvignon or whatever it is. This ain't. This isn't like, oh, you doing me one better by being
Man,
like, oh, this is more sophisticated. I'm gonna be in there like, where's your Woodford? Do you have Woodford?
they ain't got none.
You ain't got no Woodford. What
It's
kind of
beer
place
and
is this
wine.
if you
I'm
don't
telling
have the
you.
premium stuff? You
So
know what I'm
even
saying?
with the cruise joint, right? Can't we may need to look at this tonight. Like they assign, I don't think it's a sign. Like you get a dinner window, but then you have to specify if you
Oh
want to
yeah,
eat
yeah, yeah.
dinner as a family or are you open to having other people at your table? And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, I don't know if I care one way or the other. We'll
Hey,
figure it
man,
out.
hey, them cruise reserved dinner times. That
Bruh,
joint is all science too.
hey,
It's like
because
a
we had
whole
to adjust hours because they had the kids eating late. And I'm like, no, our kids used to eating at like 6. So
hey
you
man.
can't get us in that 7 to 9 window. Like we can hit the buffet at 7 to 9. You can get them they post dinner snack because we can eat all we want. But these jokers need their spaghetti and chicken nuggets at like 6, bro.
Right. And then they're gonna need a re-up. So go on and order that pizza to the room. Don't
I
even
will say Disney. So what I did learn about the Disney cruise, and eventually we're gonna talk about Herschel Walker, but what I did learn about the Disney cruise is you bounce from restaurant to restaurant, every day or
yeah,
every night or every whatever,
yeah.
but your server goes with you. So
Oh,
like you don't if they have our family eating at restaurant A for Monday and Tuesday, and then restaurant D on Wednesday and Thursday, then we'll have the same waiter every time we go. The group
oh,
of us will have the same waiter every time we go somewhere. So I'm
okay.
like,
What I give Disney props on, I know we went on a carnival cruise, and I think I told you that when we went on this carnival cruise, it was people on our plane checking in Atlanta with the Disney bags, like they were going on a Disney cruise. And I struck up a conversation with one of them, and he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna drop off our bags here, and we won't
yeah,
see our bags till we get on the boat."
bro,
And I
we
was
do it
like,
all.
"What?"
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
when we got to Orlando, they straight up like took all the Disney bags onto its own truck and got it to the boat. I was like, "This is crazy.
I'm
I
not.
need that. I
Hey,
need that in my
one
life."
thing your boy gonna do is I have learned your boy gonna vacation bougie as hell. Like I just like like
Hey,
I can't
I
I
feel
can't
you.
I can't travel like common folk no more. Like, hold on. My mama, hold on, cousin. Now I got a Disney package. Shut up. There we
See,
go.
you
Hey, let
got
me call my cousin real quick since tell him he taking my kids to Disney.
hey. I'm so we talking I know I brought up Tia said I was delirious because we got these new kids. I'm okay if the grands want to take the kids to Disney World. If they want to go through that, they're pros. I ain't a pro, right?
My mama said she's not she's not going to Disney when we go. She
Why?
says she can't handle that many children. So she doesn't like her grandkids enough to take
See,
them to Disney.
see,
So
I'm,
I know
I'm
my
kind
mama
of
ain't helping here.
I'm kind of hoping that my parents don't realize that yet, and they like get really enthusiastically like, "Hey, we really want to take the kids to Disney." All right, cool, cool. Take them. Do
No,
hey, take
no.
lots of pictures. Peace out. Because I also think Danielle would kind of stress me out. She would kind of stress me out because I'm gonna be looking for all the hustles that I can come up with, right? Meaning, when we walk past something, I'm gonna take a picture of it and be like, "Oh, it's gonna be at the house when we get there. You don't need to buy it here." I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you want this T-shirt? Uh, pow!
No, so hey,
Buy it on
the
Amazon.
homie did
Send it to
say
the crib."
she's like just prime everything, right? She's like,
Right?
"Hell no, don't buy nothing. Just buy it on Prime or buy it
Why
on the
would you
internet,
buy these things?
and
Right?
it'll meet you at the house."
It's like a Minnie Mouse doll, right? $50 in a park.
Yeah.
On Amazon Prime, it is 13.47.
I
Go
mean, I
on and
can't lie
find
to
that to
you.
the house.
Some of this stuff I'm a sucker for, man. I let the kids.
Have you seen
Um,
some of the Disney crap that they sell down there?
so real talk, when you book your Disney cruise, one of the first emails you get when you paid in full is an email about, do you want to have this special commemorative thing in your room when you arrive? And
No.
so for the kids, it's like it could be a book bag
No.
with a blanket and a like it's all
Nope.
just all knick-knacky shit.
Nope.
And I
Nope.
mean, but this is the first email, and I'm looking at that thing like,
Yeah,
you know what? It's so real
that's
talk.
how they get you. That's how they get you
No,
because
they get you.
you just paid a bunch of money. You feel like you balling, right? Time to hit up them pockets one more time. Instead, what I would do is I would go on Walmart's app, and stop there on the way to the boat, grab them, put them in my bag, and before we all get in the room, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, let me go make sure the room is straight, real quick before y'all come in. Bow bow, commemorative bags with blankets, hats, all that stuff. Be like, you in there, you in there,
Hey
what?"
man. So
Hey,
Keisha talking about the rooms already too tight. Now we adding kids. Hey Keisha, you got a gang of them though. So we're gonna try to do this thing with the two. So I mean, real talk, definitely looking forward to the cruise. Just to I think some of it is, man, just exposing the kids to stuff that you didn't necessarily get to do as a kid. And so looking forward to that side of things.
what I need is
The shit's already paid for.
we're talking about this. What I need us to do as a community of people with kids, right? Is we need to all get a group rate together and then go interview some babysitters and just pay them to come along with us and be
Fam,
like, y'all come up with an experience for them kids.
fam. So
And
real
just
talk.
let us do our thing. And
When
then
we,
that's how we travel as a group, right?
hey,
Like, hey, we went and found the daycare teachers and told them, we're taking our kid out of school for a week. We would love
for
to
you to
take
go.
you with us and we'll give you some money, right? And you do daycare for them on the trip. Like
That's what the grandparents supposed to be for.
it don't always work out
I
though,
know.
because then
Trust me.
if you go to grandparents, the grandparents be like, "Oh no, I already raised my kids." Once they say that, it's a wrap.
USOL.
You on a clock.
USOL.
You on a clock because they're gonna be like, "Take your kid
Yo,
back to the
USOL. I
and
mean, so real talk, I feel like I can count on my mom on my mother-in-law, right? Probably not for the extended like a Disney trip. I couldn't count on her because she's older, right?
right, right."
My mama, ain't no way. I can't count on my mama no more. Not to keep the kids. Like we could do it for a weekend. I might pressure her into. I'm trying to pressure her into a week this summer, but I can't count on my mama.
See,
So
I think it's just like I think I could count on my parents. It's just I feel bad because until Remy gets old enough to not like she just learned about the new octave of yelling just the other day.
Don't
So
talk
now
about my
she
baby
goes
like that.
she goes
Paul.
from
Nope.
angry to
Nope.
ballistic
Nope.
to
She
like
don't do that. Remy
fire.
don't do that.
She goes to hellfire.
She
I didn't
doesn't.
even know she could get that loud.
I don't believe you.
And she just yells in your ear like, ah, ah.
I don't believe you.
And I'm like, whoa, whoa. So now I imagine dropping her off with my mom and my dad and all them. And it's like, that would
See, pause.
suck.
Let me tell you something.
That would
You
suck.
not gonna defile and besmirch the good name of Remy. That
I'm
is not who she is as a person. I know Remy. We and her, we eye to eye. We
no,
hear all.
y'all know public Remy.
No,
Y'all
you're
know
not gonna
Remy is
besmirch the
public.
good name
Y'all
of
know
Remy like this.
y'all
Where's
know public facing
Remy?
Remy.
I'm calling Remy when we done with the podcast.
Remy is as enthusiastic about her food as Cooper is about basketball.
Hey,
That's an obsession.
I'm calling Remy when we done because
I'm just
I
telling
only know one Remy, and what you just described ain't the Remy I know. Apparently, it ain't the Remy Town know either.
Tal said she was fine when she look there. There it is. MVP, my tag team member, tapping her in. Danielle knows. She know the truth.
We ain't got no place for a third kid to sleep, Danielle.
Hey,
That's gonna be downsized houses, so couldn't nobody spend the night.
Remy has learned, as I said, she goes from angry to ballistic to hellfire. And I didn't even know. Like I thought those dragons on House of Dragons just breathe fire. She like yells fire. And it's like,
I don't believe y'all. I need a video. I need video confirmation.
whoa. If I ever no, see, I can't record video because I have to mentally tap out. I have to mentally. You ever do that? Like a kid just keeps yelling and you just go like this.
Fam. That's every day.
You just tap out. You just tap out. You're
I got two
what
boys.
happened? I watched I watched the episode of Wire in my brain because I couldn't deal with this right now. Right?
Man.
That's what happened. It's crazy. I don't know.
Oh, real talk. I don't want nobody to think that I don't love my mama. I love my mama. But Candace tell you, this woman, I said, hey, can you watch the kids so we can go to my homie's birthday party, my homie's wedding in Italy a couple years back?
That's a big gap. That's a big
no, I'm gonna just go. And then now granted, she paid for herself to go, but then she didn't watch the kids.
Hey, you didn't connect the dot. You didn't
close. Because I knew my mama, I had to get a backup. I had to call my mother-in-law, and then we paid for my mother-in-law to come because I knew she would watch the kids. But my mama, she gonna want to go and sightsee and do things that she want to do. So I love my mother. I just know.
So I mean, without getting too deep here, right? Let me ask you this.
Yep.
Did your mom raise you?
Yeah. I'm the closest boy out of all of them with mama.
No, so I think I'm going in a different direction, right? I think if you didn't grow up in like a two-parent home or something, right? Sometimes it's that you stress your own parent out so much that they're like, hell no. I do it on my terms, right? I decide how to engage with this. And I think that's fine.
Yep.
I just wonder if I'm going to turn into that grandparent one day where I'm like this, where like somebody like Cooper or Remy has kids, they bring the kids, and it's like, oh, okay, what you going to do about that yelling? Right? It's like, well, Dad, we think we can drop her off here. Oh, that's too bad for you because I'm going out. I'm going.
I have already said
I'm going to that Jay-Z retirement party or something. You know, I'm like, hey, good luck.
You know? Candace and I have already said at Avery's graduation party, it will also be an open house because I'm tapping a for sale sign in the yard the day before his graduation party, and I will be showing the house while people eat cake.
It'd be like this. Well, welcome to my house. Oh, it's a beautiful house. Oh, you like it? You want to buy it? You want to buy it? You want to buy it
Hey,
right now?
this is a nice spread you got for the open house. Yeah, my son just graduated today. We are accepted offers,
Right.
right? So you can get a plate of wings, get some ribs, and fill
Send,
this out here
send
so
me
we can
something.
have we
Send
can
me something.
contact you about putting an offer in on this house.
Hey,
I'm not
I ain't
playing.
I ain't mad at you. I
I'm
kind
out
of
the door, bro. I like, bro. I I as a parent, once the kids are off payroll, I'm
right.
done. We gonna travel the world. I already told you I want to do that 9-month cruise. Like
Right.
I'm out. I'm done. See you
I ain't
later.
mad at you, man. I ain't mad
I'm
at
done.
you for real.
I ain't raising grandkids.
Yeah. It seems kind of stressful, you
And then
know.
I'm gonna blame it on that great grand. I'm gonna blame it on my mama. I'm like, hey, your mama didn't raise your daddy.
What?
Your mama didn't raise my mama didn't raise my son. Help put in on my son. So
At
this,
first I was like, your mama didn't raise your daddy. What you
yeah,
mean?
your grandmama didn't raise your daddy. So
Right.
I'm out. I
I
ain't got
I
no more
give it
money.
up to them now. Like especially like
See,
single
look,
moms,
Candace
single
already got it.
dads out there. When it's like I've reflected and been like, I didn't give my mom hell. I don't think I gave my mom hell, but she worked hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I'd be like, I'm surprised that you want to be this engaged because I know I would be like, hey, I'm tapping out, right?
Bruh.
So I give her props. And I mean, just like your mother-in-law, I give her a lot of respect. I give
Oh,
parents a lot of respect that engage at that level because it takes a lot. You know what I mean?
like my mom. So boom. My mom, dad. They boom. Two parents in the house. They raised four boys. But
Hmm.
my mom was the only woman in the house.
Mm,
Five dudes, right? So I get it, right? My mama probably tired and she over us, over
she like,
all of us.
eh,
She like, I'm done. She
right.
checked out. Right? I get it, but I don't call on her that often, right? Because I know I can't, like Candace and I go away for a week. My fear is halfway through the week, we get a text message saying I'm taking them to grandma to Candace's mama house. Like, so I feel like I can't count on my mama, right?
Hey, I give Danielle's mom props here, right? Every time we have dropped off the kids and left for even a weekend, the kids seem to make developmental leaps forward because Danielle's mom just ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like we came back. I think we went. It wasn't Arizona. We went somewhere, and when we came back, Coop was running, and I was like, "Whoa, what? What?" She was like, "Yeah, he runs now." Like he was like, okay. She was like, we were hoping that we could drop him off and she would potty train him. But yeah, it was Europe. We came back from Europe and he was running. And I was like this, oh, whoa, what? You
Hey,
not
you
only do you walk, but you run? Oh, huh. All right.
see, and of course, my aunt Beverly, I love you.
Hey,
My mama still do work for full time job, right? So I do have to give her the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, no. So if my
wait,
mom joined the pod,
right.
she's probably asleep. But if she were to ever join, she would agree with me.
Yeah. I
Like
do think your mom would agree because when we went on vacation that time, she was like, Your mom was good for being like, oh, really?" Right? And then she would be like this, "Oh, no, it's not that I don't mess with y'all. I'm just saying, calm down."
but in my mama's defense, right? Like, okay, I'll defend my mom's. If you go on vacation with her, your food gonna be fire.
Hey, she hooked that food up every day. I mean, like,
She ain't gonna watch
she,
your kids, but
yeah.
you will eat good every day of
Oh
vacation.
my gosh. Yes, yes. And then I'm laughing at what Keisha said, when she said, my mom says it's just something about grandmom's house. I dropped my kids off and they were different people in a month. That is completely true. We dropped Cooper and Remy off and we might have stayed like the weekend somewhere. When we came back, Coop is like singing songs. They got like a little song that they sing, and Remy's like all into it. We're like, oh, what did y'all go through while we were away? And they were just having a great time.
It was at military camp. Hey, see, I just try to give my mama that same place. My mom every summer when it was this is when I was super young though, before we had 4 kids. It was just me and my younger brother. He was a baby. My mama used to send me to my Uncle George and my grandma Barbara's house for the whole summer. I'm like 6 years old, bro.
Right.
Whole summer gone, right? School get out, a couple weeks later, they putting your boy on a plane with that special I'm flying alone bag. And I'm on the plane.
Can we talk about that for a second? Can we
from
talk
Augusta
about
to New Jersey?
So, like, and this is Tao. Tao is been logged in on the show. Hopefully, she hasn't logged out. But I think Tao will remember. I had to be about like 8 or 9, flying Tao by ourselves on a plane.
Fam.
Like,
Yep.
not navigating through the airport.
Fam.
Like at the point where my mom was like dropping us off at the gate, was like, bye, see ya. And then when we got there, being like, is dad? Oh, there is dad. Okay. All right, cool. We cool, right? We were just cut different as kids.
Let me tell you something. Our wives would set us on fire.
Yeah, if we just were like, oh, they good. They good. Right?
Hey, what I know about both of our wives,
they'd be like, what is wrong with you? And I'd be like, what do you mean? Because I didn't give them goldfish? Or is that the problem? You're gonna get Biscoff cookies on the plane. Hey, make sure you give your sister some Biscoff cookies.
Oh God,
it's a big deal.
I literally can see Candace.
Hey, Tal is not telling lies, right? We used to catch the city bus. I had to be in like 5th grade, 5th, 6th grade. It wasn't like 5th grade. It was probably like 7th grade, right? My mom would be like, hey, I gotta work. I got things going on. You supposed to get on this bus. I'm gonna wait with you at the bus stop. Don't get off until you get a block from grandma's house. And grandma gonna meet y'all at the bus stop. Or not later on when we just walk the blocks. Straight up walking through the city and being like, I'm getting off because we stop in and get something to eat. And then we gonna walk. And it was like it was cool. We were good with it, right? Like, I was catching a bus everywhere.
I told you so. You know where the old house was in Loganville?
Yeah,
I mean, in Auburn. You could see the bus stop from our house.
Yeah,
right. Like literally, the bus stop was across the street, no more than 100 steps away. I said, "Hey, at what age will you let the boy go to the bus stop by himself?" I was like, well, by 5th grade?
The school bus, not like the city bus. The school
bus. She's like, I was like, what? I mean, what, 3rd grade? She's like, hell no. I think I legitimately, Candace probably would let him maybe 5th grade.
Whoa.
That's pushed. That might be pushing it.
But see, now y'all got a city kid now.
No. The neighborhood, the school is in our neighborhood. Like real talk.
His school is in the neighborhood.
We could walk. It's a maybe 15, 20-minute walk to school.
Bruh, I'm telling you, Tal will tell you, I used to walk to school every day. Like,
there's no bus for my neighborhood right now.
Middle school, high school, that was nothing. Catching the city bus all around, going wherever you got to go. I mean, you just had to do what you had to do. And I understand it's a different world now, but totally it's also like, what? They can't walk? They can't walk to the bus stop no more? Dang.
It literally.
I do remember like walking home with a crew of friends, walking home everywhere. And it
didn't matter if it was raining.
Like legit, there was a route that we took because it was dependent on whose house was closer to the school and further away. So the furthest kid walked to the next kid house, grab him, next kid house, next kid house, next kid house. And then we just went on the hike. You know what I mean?
Now, see, I caught the neighborhood bus, but it was not in front of our house. You had to hike to get to the bus stop,
We
but there
called
was none of
cheese.
this. Hey, it's raining. We're gonna drive you to the bus.
Yeah, no.
Like,
My mom would be
man,
like, "Oh, it's raining. Here's an umbrella."
fam, we didn't have enough money for no
Oh,
umbrella.
do you know how blessed I would be looking at these kids that had raincoats and be like, "Oh, y'all got raincoats?" And don't let you walk up in school with rain boots on. Be
No.
like, "Oh, you got some LL beans on? You got some LL beans?"
Oh man, hey, it's this is a joy. I mean, so I think the beauty of what this conversation highlights is that one, our kids are blessed beyond measure, right?
Hugely
Because
blessed. Hugely. Oh, no. Hugely, hugely blessed.
like
Would our kids have playrooms? And it's like you have a whole room of play? What? Dude,
my son, Xavier, we both take him to school every morning now.
why?
It ain't we she worked from home. I work 6 minutes away. I can come home from the gym, get the boy dressed. We drive the kid to school. Both of us will get in the car as a family. We will go drop this kid off at school. Right? We're immensely blessed to live in the environment that he does or that we do now as a family.
Right.
So anyway,
I'm just saying it's just weird now, right? Like I remember going to the mall with my parents, and the only thing that was a signal, I don't know why this is, but this is super weird. But I knew my mom's key jingle, right? I could be walking around, you walk around, your parents take a left, you take a right. You're like, oh shit, where my mom go, right? Be panicking. You're not exactly panicking, but you're fast walking through Macy's, looking, and you're like, where they at? What's going on? And then you hear that key jingle, and you're like, oh,
there she is.
that's my mom. There she is. Got her. Boom, found her. Right. We would do that all the time, right? I do think there was points where my mom even left me at the mall. It was like, well, I said be back at the car by 3 o'clock. I gotta go. Bye. And be like, oh, I guess we'll figure it out, right? But I think Tao and Keisha are right. Like when you see a kid out there by themselves now, and it don't matter. They could be 14. You'll be like this. Oh, do you have a phone number? Do you have a phone number? Do you know where find do you have find my iPhone? Okay. What's your mother's number? Okay. Let's get some police involved and then find what's going on there.
Fam.
You know what I mean?
Like
Neglect.
you, I just used to know, like, all right, if I lost my keys or I couldn't find them, the bathroom window was open and I had to hop up on the air conditioning unit and then pull myself, push up the window and then climb into the window in the back of the house if I forgot my keys.
Bruh.
Like,
There were a couple
or
days
just, and if that window was locked for some reason, you just waited.
there were a couple days where I left my key and sat on the stoop.
So you just had to sit there.
Like this. What are you doing? Waiting for my mom to get home? Be like, what do you mean you're waiting for your mom? She'll be home soon.
I forgot
I,
my keys.
I put my book bag on the back porch and just threw it over the gate. Right. I'm gonna go play real quick. I'm gonna go to the basketball court and hoop till my mom gets home. And that should tell you the level of thinking that these kids can do, right?
Yeah.
It's like they can read a clock. It's like I'll be home at 5 o'clock. Have your ass at the door at 5 o'clock, right?
It's just different,
It's
man.
just
It's
different.
it's
It's
you know,
different.
it's not different in a bad way. I think it's just, the world is a little
It's
bit
different.
different.
Yeah.
We trust a little bit less than we did before,
Right.
because the world dictated that. But it's interesting how fast things have changed in our lifetime.
No, you got to take Zay to North DeKalb Mall, man. To North DeKalb and South DeKalb Mall.
That boy ain't ready for that.
Yeah, he is. He ready. He
That boy ready.
ready. He got it because it's only about a time before he started coming home, being like, "Where them J's at?"
No, let me tell you, you got Jay's money.
And he's gonna be like, "Do you want me to go earn Jay's money?"
Let me tell you something.
Like, What? I'm out here getting a side job, out here working out, trying to get this money, get these new Jordans out here.
Your boy didn't have no J's. I had some Grand Hills.
Oh yeah, I had some Grand Hills. I had some AIs, some Iversons.
Man, I'm trying to give y'all the reference point, bro. Like I got two pairs of shoes a year.
Yeah, I had a
Back
pair of
to
white
school
ones
at
and a pair of
Christmas.
black ones, a pair of white Air Force Ones, and a pair of black Air Force Ones.
Like I went school shopping twice a year. Back to school and Christmas. Like it wasn't none of this. Hey, we're getting 3 and 4 pair of shoes. Fam, Zay foot grows about every other week. We got to get him a new pair of shoes because there's a hole in them. So it is what it is. Hey, we're gonna talk about Herschel Walker now.
I think we can summarize Herschel Walker fairly quickly, but I mean, I'll leave it to you to summarize before.
I don't really even know like where to begin, right? Like
Herschel Walker has got to be one of the most confounding candidates for Senate that I've seen in a while. First, he says he supports a national ban on abortion.
Yep.
Then the New York Times says they have an anonymous woman that comes forward and says, well, he paid for my abortion. Herschel Walker says, I'm going to sue them because they lied. And then the lady says, but he knows me. And then Herschel Walker says, I don't know anybody. I never paid for abortion. And then she says, well, we have a child together. And the world goes, what? And Herschel Walker goes, oh no. And then Herschel Walker's son comes out in the press and says, absolutely no one in our family was supportive of him running for Senate. He is not a good father. And he's airing out our personal laundry for the world to see. He's embarrassing us. He's a liar. And this is a travesty. And then WSB starts interviewing people. Have you seen this part where they interview voters in Georgia to see whether the Herschel Walker abortion saga has swayed their votes, right? Here's the creepiness that is the GOP. Herschel Walker's abortion controversy leads them having the biggest fundraising day he's had in the whole campaign.
Yep.
Right. Then, right, GOP voters in Georgia have said, well, here's the thing. I don't care. They have a quote. This is a quote that's in the AJC that says, I don't care if he gave 1,000 women abortions. I don't care. I want the Senate back.
They want
and
that
at
seat.
That point, I think we have to pause, right?
They want that seat.
When the man's own family says, this ain't good, and we ain't even done with the whole saga, we're just pausing. When the man's own family says, this ain't a good look, don't do it. When his baby mama says, he done tried to get me to do a few abortions, right? And now he's got more money than he had before. And y'all,
there are more women coming out.
Right. It's like, this is getting kind of crazy. So let's flash forward. So then Herschel Walker, the lady comes forward and says who she is. And then she says, Herschel Walker says this isn't true. She says, I have check stubs that show it's true. Then they said, well,
check stubs and a get well card.
Yeah, get well card and check stubs. And then he says, but it's all about my family. She says, but I've been talking with your wife. And now they release the text messages between Herschel Walker's wife and this lady. And the wife is like, we gonna pray for you. Herschel prays for you every day, hopes you get better every day. You know, it's just a shame because we've been trying to build a bridge for you. If this ain't like in Ray, when Ray Charles baby mama dies and he's like all upset, right? And Kerry Washington's character is like, what's wrong, right? And he's like, well, she died. And she was like, what about the baby? And he's like, oh, whoa, you knew about the baby? She was like, I know about all the babies, Ray. You ain't you ain't slick. You know what I mean? This is weird.
But
And
then
this guy is trying to be a senator.
it came out that it was like, hey, I am who I am because not only did you pay to have my abortion the first time,
Right.
you wanted to pay for me to have a second one. And when I didn't, you broke off our relationship when you found out that I was gonna keep the child.
Right.
I sat back and went, wow.
I mean, I just don't understand how low this can get, right? And and we're not even at the bottom yet, right? It's incredibly like I don't know. I'm at a loss for words because when people are just like, I want the Senate that bad,
Yep. Yep.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
Some
when you
things
think
just ain't
about
personal.
it's Herschel Walker here, it's Dr. Oz in
I mean,
Pennsylvania.
did you see the Tommy Tuberville thing that
I,
went down?
Tommy Tuberville throwing, but see, he not up, so
Tommy
he's
Tuberville
gonna get pushed
said
back because he's not up for reelection.
Tommy
And it's
Tuberville
Alabama.
says black people want reparations because they support people who do crime should get the money.
It's
And it's
Alabama. So he will feel no ill effects of that comment whatsoever.
he won't. He won't. Because people are like, I want the Senate. And
Yep.
it's like there was a time where it used to be the US versus the world. And now, because of so much infighting, there's just no pathway forward. I mean, I just don't know. They need to get rid of all the parties, honestly. I just
It's
don't get it, man.
trash. I mean, I think we can't conflate. I think seriously, we can't lump. I think we can look at the Democratic Party and say they have their wrongs,
Oh, they definitely do.
but to say the wrongs are on any way or level similar to the
You know,
issues of the Republican Party.
I personally I believe that power corrupts.
I will agree with that.
I mean, this is as bad. This is as I'm not going to say as unfortunate or as bad as. I'm just saying that the Democratic Party has had their own share of controversy over the years,
But
right?
see, the issue that I
And it's
have with
like,
that statement, though, bro, is when there is issue, right?
right?
Traditionally, Democrat in office or whatever pays the price
Do they?
for the most part. What the dude? What's his name? I don't. I forgot the dude's name. And was it Michigan? I forgot his name. More often than not, Democrat gets caught up in scandal. Think the black dude in Florida, right?
Okay.
He lost that race,
Yeah,
that
Andrew
governor's
Gilliam.
race.
Andrew Gilliam, or
Andrew Gillum. That dude
all
is
sorts of crap.
persona non grata right now.
Right.
You
I
know, and it's just Democrats will feast on their own and for some reason or another cast out people for issues or transgressions, and then when Republicans don't, they go
yeah, but I mean that's also
exactly Kwame gone, right? Like
right.
when Democrats get an issue, like it's like boom, you get umbilical cord cut, cast out, boom, done.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. It's all around what's going around these days. It's all bad, right? This this leads me to the latest Kanye West developments, which is
Oh
Kanye
god.
has lost his goddamn mind, right? I think Kanye, I think Kanye, and I say that as a joke, but seriously, I know this man suffers from mental illness sometimes, that he has episodes or whatnot. I hope he is seeking help
I don't think
because
he's suffering at all.
I
I
think
think
he
he wants
is.
attention.
I think, well, I mean, whether that seeking attention is part of whatever's going on with him, this dude is like so far gone. I don't know how you come back
I
anymore.
think he is realizing what some other affluent African Americans realize, and they realize that money is greener on the right. It's easier to come by on the right
I
side of the
don't
aisle.
know. I really don't. I really.
Killer Mike.
I think Kanye's big troll is that he flip flops so much that it almost takes away from everyone that ever messes with him, right? So all the Republicans that are now backing him because he's wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt, all of them hated him when he was saying the Black Lives Matter stuff, right? And it's like you're his I think part of his point is like it doesn't matter, right? But also he's now taken that and gone to extreme lengths, right? From posting him and Diddy's conversation where Diddy's like, "Hey man, I just care for you. I just want to make sure you okay." And he called him something crazy. And then the thing he said about Obama being the BLM office manager, then he said he was waging war against Jews. And it's like, dude, you have lost your mind, right? He's just so
I
far gone. And now Candace Owens is now coming out with a documentary about the Black Lives Matter Inc. Black Lives Matter Incorporated, not Black Lives Matter the campaign. She keeps on cutting this thing short. So apparently she wants to trace where all the money from Black Lives Matter Inc. went to. And it's like, y'all, this is y'all have lost it. This whole thing is getting
I don't think they had like that, and that's the reality is they haven't. Candace Owens hasn't. They have just figured out a way to monetize being contrarian, and
yeah. I mean,
that's
people used to say that about Joe Rogan too. I've never watched Joe Rogan's show, but people have said like that's
that's the
what he's
stick.
figured out, that he's been able to be contrarian to many things, and that's what he's writing out there.
Candace Owens is riding high on the hog of being the black person that speaks out against black issues. Like that's who Candace Owens is, right? She will say anything or be anything to anybody on the right. She is a Herschel Walker who can form 3 or 4 sentences. That's exactly who she is, right? It's I will say anything, I will go on TV and do anything, I will shuck and jive for whomever needs me to shuck and jive as long as the check clears. That's who Candace Owens is. That's who, unfortunately, Killer Mike is turning into.
You think Killer
And
Mike is turning into that too?
100%. If you go look at what Killer Mike is doing now, like Killer Mike went from being this dude, hey, let's ride for Bernie, to now all of a sudden we're talking about Brian Kemp is a better option for African Americans in the state of Georgia than Stacey Abrams.
Wow, I didn't even know about
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Like I think what too many affluent black people are doing is they are comfortable being used as levers and pawns as long as their clout gets increased. This is a huge clout chase for Candace Owens, for Killer Mike. Kanye to a degree is clout chasing and just trying to ride coattails to get more cash. And so it is what it is. I think what's his name? Roland Martin hit it best when they talked about Kanye. He's like, yo, I'm done talking about Kanye. He's like,
Yeah, I mean,
like he said, it's a waste of time. He's doing it for attention, to increase his clout. He wants people having conversations about him because the more, because you can monetize mentions. And so I'm like, nah,
I mean, he's just way far gone. I stopped looking into it. Honestly, I can't quote much on Candace Owens because I don't give her that room. She does not live in my brain, right? I don't know about her. I don't really care about her. I think I heard her speak about 1 or 2 things, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I get it. That's your thing, right? Okay, cool. I'm not into that." Killer Mike, I think I really did. I'm kind of shocked to hear that.
I
Though I
would
would
say
say to a certain degree,
there
right?
are levels to it. I'll say that. Like Killer Mike ain't Candace Owens and Kanye.
Right. But I mean, like,
He's
I
starting
would
to shuck
say
and jive.
I would say that I would the thing that I've been shocked about this election cycle is I would have expected Stacey Abrams to be so much more vocal and out there. But then there were things that she didn't want Biden kind of campaigning for her or something to extent with all that. There was like all this stuff about um, what makes sense to campaign in Georgia, and now I don't know what's going on, but I really thought Stacey was going to be so out front so early and just keep on the throttle that it would have been a clear cut deal. It's just interesting that she just hasn't been that out there to me.
I mean, I think Georgia's going to be Georgia. I think the reality is Georgia's if everybody voted, Georgia's a solid Democratic state, but not everybody votes in Georgia who is eligible to vote. And so I think that's what keeps Georgia purple and in red to a degree. But I also think that the Republican Party, if you watch all the commercials that are out, they do a really, really good job of branding local politicians by the national standard, regardless of whether or not the local Democrat says, no, hey, I'm going to run. I'm the such and such for Georgia. I'm going to bring Georgia politics to the state of Georgia, right? And it's like the Republican Party does an amazing job of messaging national politics on local races. And so I think, if I'm Stacey, I'm like, hey, keep it hyper local, because what happens in Washington has no bearing on what happens in Georgia. You're the governor of Georgia. You're not representing you're not representing Georgia nationally. Hey,
Right.
my computer about to die.
Oh well, I mean, we at the top of the hour anyway.
Yeah. All right, let's run through them thrones real quick. If let me text Candace and ask her to bring me my charger because it was at 100% when we got started. Streaming kills us.
Let's think about this. Y'all watching House of Dragons, right? So we are finally at the time. Wait, spoiler alert. Spoiler
There we
alert.
go. I put it at the bottom.
If you haven't watched the latest episode of House of Dragons, be aware that we're going to talk about the latest episode of House of Dragons. You've been warned.
5, 4, 3, 2, and go.
Okay, so we are finally ready to kick off the Dance of Dragons because as Viserys takes his last breath, it's about to go down. Can we talk about that last scene, right?
It was a beautiful scene.
The scene where he is so out of it that he thinks he's talking to Rhaenyra about Aegon the Younger, right? Which is still very interesting because it's not like he said Jacaerys would be king, right?
He said
Aegon, but she had also specifically asked him about Aegon, right? So I loved how that scene ended. I think it's just on and popping from here on out, right? And I gotta love Scar. Scar is
Scar about that life.
Scar is little Damon. And did you see Damon smirk?
It's like they have a love affair with each other. And it was like
he was admiring Damon when he cut off old boy head.
Damn.
He can keep his tongue. I love that scene.
What I appreciate is everybody in the room knows that Damon's about that life and don't nobody really want to step to him too tough.
Right.
But Scar,
I think Scar is like one day I'll be as badass as he is. And that's when I'll step to him, right? Because I think what he respected is that Damon told Valerian, he said, say it. Say it. He said, say it. And it's like, and I wish I was that kind of cursing person for our show, but he was like, say it.
Yeah.
Say it. What you gonna say? They are bastards. Off with his head. He can keep his tongue. Yeah. Amon looked at him, it was like, yeah, that's
Hey, so
clutch.
one of the questions I had was he takes care of Rhaenyra's kids, the boys, way better than he takes care of his own girls.
You get a sense of that. Why do you say that?
I mean, you think about so one daughter went off to be a ward
Uh-huh.
with grandma.
Right.
The other daughter isn't really seen much that whole episode until the end.
Hmm.
But how quick he comes to the defense of those boys.
Well, he interjected before stuff got crazy, right?
Yeah, you can't say he left them with grandmama. Like, all right,
No, but see, she being a ward under that is like you training to be like that
Lord,
that boss. You
lady
train
of the
to be a
house.
boss, right? And I mean, it's good training if you're gonna train under a princess how to do this, right? So I give her the internship creds, right? But Damon telling the boys like calm down
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
go upstairs, and they listened,
yeah,
right?
yeah. He checked them real quick,
He checked them like, hey, chill out, go upstairs,
which
right?
lets me know they already know he gonna handle this.
But they also, I think this is going to change the dynamic. I think for Jace and Luke, the idea is now Aemon is the level that they know they need to be prepared for,
Oh,
right? Like they showed Jace learning High Valerian, and he's like,
mm-hmm.
I mean, like morally, ethically straight, where he's like, as a king, one day I need to learn how to speak High Valerian. I'm
Yep.
committed to this. More lessons. Let's do it, right? Aemon's over there kicking ass,
He fighting.
and he fighting Kristen Cole, and with one eye saw them princes over on the side. Was
Yeah,
like, he was like, I don't give a f about fighting Kristen Cole. Hey nephews,
right. Hey, auntie.
and it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, shots fired, right?
I mean, it's been interesting to watch how they draw the line, not between the cousins, but how they draw the lines between the brothers,
Right,
right? Like Aemon and Aegon, totally different as to how they perceive, their responsibilities in the world, right?
right,
Like Aemon already know my role is to protect, right? Like I'm gonna be a badass. I'm gonna fly this dragon. This is who we are. This is what we do. Oh boy, just say, hey, I'm gonna bang chicks and
I'm gonna be Prince.
I'm gonna be Prince, right?
I never wanted to be king, but I'm out here living this royal life.
Like I wonder how it affects him to know what his mama thinks. Because I think didn't she say
She told him.
you're
She
no
told him.
child of mine or something like that?
And that looked like that got in underneath his skin, right?
Yep. Okay, can I just say I don't know if it happens this season. Are we gonna finally get the Eamon versus Damon fight? Is that this season or is it
No, that won't be for a while.
that thing gonna be bad?
It's
Oh,
an epic part of the story, and I'm not even gonna go down that line and tell you.
I've already spoiled it for myself. I
Yeah,
went down
yeah,
a House of Dragons Twitter stream,
yeah.
and I could not know, so I just kept digging deeper and deeper and found out.
It's gonna get pretty bad. So is like, but that's why I'm like, I'm really curious of how the boys, Jace and Luke, react now knowing who you're
You gotta
playing
get in
with.
the gym.
Right. You're gonna have to get into the gym, and
You
you're
gotta
gonna
get in
have
the
to
weight
step your
room.
game up, right? And but the interesting thing is Jace does not rub me as like a Jon Snow, right?
Right.
Snow was like, yo, I can get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, tool you up. What's his name? Rob Stark, the king of the north, the king in the north, right? They were kids, yes, but they were also like, I'm kind of a badass though,
I mean,
too.
I
You know?
think that's up to Damon though, right? I think Damon got to level him up now.
But
Like he
Damon's got to train them up, and they gotta be ready to square up.
yeah, I think at this point,
Because like the boys honestly, Jace and Luke, I love the one that has the more edge to me is Luke, right?
hold on,
Because
Luke
when
is
Luke was staring at Aemon, and they went like this.
hold on, Luke's the older one, right?
Luke is the younger one that was staring at Aemon's eye and then laughed at him,
When
and
they
he
brought
made
up the
him mad.
pig.
Because you remember, it's Luke that took that eye.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
Luke that sliced that eye out of his head. It was like,
So is Luke the one like Aemon that's about that life?
I think Luke is going to be Lord of Driftmark, and that's
Yeah,
going to be a problem, right? Like, because
it's
if
not a thing. No, he is. Like I think
no, that's what I mean. Like he's
King
going,
reaffirmed that.
but he going to be cut a little different. You know what I
So
mean?
that means if he gonna be Lord of Driftmark, then that means he gonna have a huge level up coming too. Like he need to get I think both of them in their own way is gonna have to get in the weight room a little bit different.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to both turn a bit. They're going to have to turn it up a couple
Yeah,
notches.
they're
The
gonna have to
biggest
have
thing
an
that
edge.
I'm the biggest thing that I'm somewhat worried for, right? If I remember correctly, Rhaenyra was leaving King's Landing
Yep,
when after the dinner. But
yep.
now with Viserys dead, I'm like, they gonna try and keep them from leaving King's Landing?
So it was a I think you probably caught it, but Candace when we were talking about it, she didn't catch it. Or maybe she caught it, but I don't think she understood the context. Or she probably didn't understand the context. Hell, I don't know. But she said, I'm gonna send my kids back and I'll be back by dragon.
Right.
And
No,
so I think that
we'll take them back, and then I'll fly back. I'll come back on Dragon back.
and I don't think that's not a throwaway line at all. I think that was foreshadowing like a motherfucker. Like I think you can get the sense that that was a very peaceful comment. Like, hey, that's just the fastest way for me to get back. But after seeing the way this next episode is going to go, she's like, I think that's more of a now. I'm coming back with my dragon to get what's mine.
So Tal and Danielle are asking about the names, right? And you have to go that Rhaenyra named her son Aegon, who is now Aegon the Third, as a complete troll. That was a complete troll on Aegon the Second, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like
But
I named him Aegon the Third, and my other son is named Viserys after my father, right?
and so then at the end, when he was talking about the prince who was promised,
Right.
he's talking about Rhaenyra's Aegon, not.
No. He's talking about Rhaenyra.
No, he said, but he said Aegon, prince who was promised. So he's talking about
Uh,
Rhaenyra's Aegon, not
when-
not his wife's Aegon.
no. I interpret that different. So when Rhaenyra first went in to go see him, when after it was just him and her, and she
Yep.
said, "Do you still believe it?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Aegon, the prince who was promised, the song of fire and ice, right?" And he's not lucid. He's like,
Yep.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And she's like, defend me. You're going to have to defend me. Right. So then when he comes back with Allison, now, because something he said clued me off to what Damon and Rhaenyra were talking about. Right. When they said to Allison, they said, how do you interpret what he's saying if you keep him drugged up all the time? I'm
Yep.
sure the drugged upness is all in his benefit, right? And then when he was on the throne, she said, let's get you back to bed. And he said, no, I don't want my mind clouded right now. I want to be lucid. I want to know what's happening.
Yep.
But she dragged him up. And then when he got to bed, he asked, she's like, no, it's me, Allison. He was like, Rhaenyra? And she's like, no, it's me, Allison. And then he starts saying the song of fire, of ice and fire, the Aegon's tale, it's all true. It's you because that's what he told Rhaenyra in the basement that time when he said, "No one can know about this. It's our legacy. You're the one." That's what she was asking, like before, is if you
I need to go back
truly
and watch
believe
that
me.
portion. I
If
took that
he
as
told
him
her,
saying,
nah,
"Go ahead,
he
I'm sorry."
when he gave her when he said, "I'm gonna make you the heir apparent," right?
Mm-hmm.
He gave her the dagger and he showed her how it lit up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this is the princess promise. This is the prophecy. This is Aegon's prophecy. It needs to be defended by whoever's on that throne, right? So that was him passing it down. Now, Allison doesn't know this story because she's not in line to take the
Yeah,
throne, right?
and she doesn't
So when
know.
she hears Aegon, she says, "That's my Aegon." What he's talking about is the prophecy that Rhaenyra was talking
I
about
got you.
being
I
true.
took that as him talking about Rhaenyra's Aegon, not
No,
Allison's Aegon.
he means Rhaenyra is the heir apparent, but he's too
Got
out of it. So now she thinks he's talking about Aegon. I really do think to a certain degree, she knows he's not talking to her, but also when he says Aegon, these things don't make sense to her. So she's like, he intends for Aegon to be the prince. Now, if
because she doesn't know the stories.
now if she was using effing context clues, I think we can quickly come to the conclusion that he was not talking about Aegon, who slammed Lucira's head on the damn table
Now,
at dinner
let me ask you a
and
question.
provoked a whole thing, right?
Because one thing that we didn't get though was the introduction of we got the introduction of Rhaenyra introducing Aegon and Viserys to Viserys, but we never got the introduction of Rhaenyra introducing the two babies to to the rest of the court. So are
To
we just
Alice.
to assume in this moment that Alicent and them know that Rhaenyra's youngest child is named Aegon?
Well, I think this is the problem that if you watch the lead in for next week's episode, they're like, "My queen, we found something," and then
Yeah,
they show a blonde haired
a
baby.
blonde haired boy.
That
Yep.
blonde haired boy is Aegon the third, and she
Mm-hmm.
going because I don't know that Allison knows that Rhaenyra has a child named Aegon. So
Uh-uh.
when Allison says what she essentially is going to have to say, which is he said Aegon, you can imagine that Rhaenyra is going to be like, "Yeah, my Aegon,"
Yeah.
right?
Now, all
And
right.
that's what's going to set this whole thing off.
Follow up because I don't think that they hit. They hinted, but you could also go after right. Damon touched her stomach a lot. Is
Like she
she pregnant again?
I think she's pregnant, but she might not carry.
There we go. Because they touched her stomach a lot, and I'm like,
Well,
ooh,
the one thing that I wanted to go back and listen to is what Helena said at the dinner table. Because if you listen to whatever Helena says, she's always dropping foresight on what's about to go down, right? And she said something underneath her breath with all of them, which was like, he's about to lose it or something like that. But I thought that was so interesting. Did you get the context that Aegon and Helena are married now? That's weird as shit. Like that is super weird. You
yep.
married your sister, bro. Like,
Hey, is that really that weird
huh?
in Game of Thrones?
I mean, that's his straight sister. Like that's not like Damon's kids marrying Rhaenyra's kids, right? That's like straight up your sister. Like y'all got the same mama and dad, and y'all, I don't know, man.
It
That's
don't
weird.
seem like they got the same issues that we got today with trying to marry off your and have kids with family.
Hey man, I gotta give props to Rhaenyra, man. This is just crazy, man.
This was so I mean I think the good thing about this
Talia is the spy. She's the chick that they showed up in the so Talia is technically Damon's whore that
Mm-hmm.
he brought to that to Dragonstone and said that was pregnant, and that's why he took the egg. And then she got all mad with him and left that. She's been spying on the Capitol on King's Landing ever since and leaking stuff back to Damon back at Dragonstone. She's like their spy master. So
Can we talk about Damon? Damon must have when he was not impotent. He must have that good. He must slay some good Wayne because he got Talia bent over backwards doing stuff for him,
yeah,
like risking it all, spying. Oops, I dropped my flip flop.
no, Tal. The sister's name is Helena or something. It's like I don't know if that's exactly it, but it's like a Helena or something. Helena Targaryen. Yeah.
So social media reacted that the episode was a little slow. I thoroughly enjoyed the episode. I think it
Well,
set the stage very well for
in Game of Thrones, it's a boring episode before stuff pops off, and it's always
and we popping off next week.
next week is next week. That's not the finale either, is it?
No. So all right, so boom, another question. Um the episode starts with Damon jumping into the dragon pit and getting 3 eggs.
Because she's pregnant.
Yeah, because the dragon's pregnant, right? So are we to assume some of these dragons make it through? Every time I see 3 dragon eggs pulled out,
Right.
I always go, are these the dragon eggs that get lost that whatchamacallit eventually finds in Game of Thrones
Oh, that
200
won't be for
years
a
later?
minute. That won't
Hmm?
be for a minute. I don't think that'll
Okay,
be.
so we ain't got to those dragons yet.
Yeah. No. You talking about a difference of like 200 years.
That's what I'm saying. But what we also don't know is how, we know dragon eggs can stay dormant for a long time.
And I think you got to remember that Daenerys is part of the prophecy and is weirdly, she's got her own kind of like weird kind of stuff going on. Because you remember that episode where she was on fire and didn't burn,
Yeah, yep.
and it was like, what? And they were like, oh, it's the this is what I love about Thrones is the whole what is it? It's not the death or something. It's like they got the death personified or something. It's the I can't remember what it was called, but it's basically the thing that Arya and the assassin were praying to. The
Mm-hmm.
many-faced God. The many-faced God and spared her is what they said because she's the prince that was promised is what that prophecy was.
One of the things that they did very well in Game of Thrones that they have not done yet. In Game of Thrones, they made it a point to name the swords that people were using so you could trace the lineage of who had the sword previously.
Right.
That is not something that they've done yet. But what made me wonder about
Well,
it,
Damon's sword has a name.
so that's what made me wonder about it was in all the other shots where people have died, they haven't paid much attention to the weapon that they used.
Right.
But the camera focused really tight onto Damon at 2 points when he was cleaning the blade, right? So you got a very clear shot of how long the blade was. And then when he put it away, he rested his hand on the hilt so you could see the top half of the handle. And so I'm like, I wonder. So it made me now want to go and look up what's the legacy of that blade, because that was Game of Thrones spent a lot of energy and equity into making sure you knew where all the blades that were special came from.
Well,
This is how Stark's blade, right? Like you got a lot of effort and energy knowing who was using what blade.
Well, you got to remember that their big thing was Valerian steel,
Mm-hmm.
and I would assume that that Damon's sword is Valyrian steel, which is like
100%. No, it was because he said it. That's why it cut so clean.
right. Yeah, yeah, man. It looked good though. It was a good episode.
Yep.
Needle's not going to pop up because Dario made Needle for
Yep.
Arya, so that sword was like custom. That is her little joint,
Yep.
right? So, but no, it was a good episode. It was a good episode.
So, anywho, no, that's one thing I'll probably spend. Keisha, I'll spend a little bit of time this week finding out the legacy of Damon's sword because that was one of the things that I loved because I used to have this love for swords and had a couple in the house before I started having kids, and so yeah, I will probably look up the legacy of that sword to just see whose sword. I guarantee you, the Game of Thrones Wikipedia has who was the previous owner of Damon's sword and where it went after Damon was done. Because you
So,
don't lose Valyrian steel.
well, that sword is called Dark Sister. That's what he calls.
That's Dark Sister.
Mm-hmm.
So they make mention of that sword specifically in Game of Thrones.
Do that?
Yeah. Yep. Hold on. All right. We don't have time to figure this out now, but
Right.
yeah, like they made anyway. All right, I'm gonna spend too much time diving into this. Boom.
Yeah. All right. Well, great episode, man.
We tried to keep it to a hard hour. We did an hour and 33 minutes, guys. We're gonna try to do a little bit better about keeping this thing. Jeff, you never gave me back my swords.
You got swords at the house?
Don't have those
you
anymore.
got some swords at the house, Jeff?
Not anymore. Love you, Dad. I'll buy you new ones. All right, man. Hero villain time, man. Hero villain.
Hero villains. Let's see. Hero. I gotta call out the NFL Players Association.
Okay.
For firing old boy, the doctor the doctor that messed up the diagnosis with Tua, and then adding to the concussion protocol and say, now if you're wobbly, you coming out that game, right?
They took Teddy Bridgewater out after one play, one hit.
The villain is also the NFL because that roughing the passer call on Tom Brady yesterday, I ain't never seen something so fake in my life.
Never seen something so bad.
And also, my second hero is Georgia State for beating Georgia Southern State, not Southern, all day.
I knew that was coming.
Just had to call that out. The real GSU has prevailed once again, as we always do. So, yes.
So I think for me, man, my hero, I forgot to do it last week, but so I'll do it right now. Hero for me is little man Avery. My dad said Raphael Warnock is his hero. There's Herschel Walker. Yeah, I think we can all agree with that, Dad. So Avery had his first full week of school last week. Started a little late because he got his tonsils removed like about 14, 15 days ago. So started school last week on Monday. He had a really, really good week. I think he's enjoying himself, coming out of shell a little bit. So big ups to my little man for powering through his first full week of school. So, and the big difference for him is traditionally school has been, at the local church, at a church around the corner. It was just Monday, Wednesday, Friday from like 9 to 1. Well, now he's going to Montessori school from 8:30 to 3. So every day. So he's really had he's been a champ. It's been hard, but he's been a champ about it. So
that's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah. My villain, I think I ran across this story today that a local man, not a local guy, but a guy is suing Texas Pete Hot Sauce Company because it's not made in Texas. It's actually made in North Carolina. And so he's suing them for. I didn't read the article. I'm assuming he's suing them for false advertising or whatever. So he's gonna get. Maybe he's not the villain for the week, but he is definitely the dumb of the week. So that's what I got.
I'm down with it. So
Yeah.
great episode, man. Great.
Yeah, man. Hey, before we go, confirmed. A good friend of ours, Lee Willis, aka Dr. Law, really big in the world of comic and Marvel, or all things comic book and all things Marvel moviedom. He's going to be on the show next week, so don't forget to join us next week. We're going to be talking in a very non-spoiler fashion about Black Panther 2, or excuse me, Wakanda Forever. So we will be talking next week about Wakanda Forever. And we won't be doing spoilers, obviously, but we will be diving into, what to expect. How would the movie be different if Chadwick was still alive? All of those kind of things.
And I would say we got to post the link to the event that's going down in November.
No, we can't post it. The ticket sold out.
Oh, did it? It sold out?
I mean, it might be. I mean, we'll post it. I'll post it. So Lee is Lee is having an event.
I got to get y'all tickets because it's about to go down. We're about to have fun.
It's a pre-screening for Black Panther. I think it's the day before it comes out.
Keith, you and Tony going? That's what's up. We all gonna be there. We were talking about possibly staying at the Battery.
No, we got to see. We got them kids in school, bro.
I hear you.
So anyway, I'll look tonight for all those who are interested. If tickets are still available, I'll make sure I post a link to it on our Facebook page. But Lee is doing a pre-screening, and kind of cosplay folks are coming out, Q&A with selling, and I think they're also going to be selling some cast signed merch. So a lot of dope stuff that'll be happening at his event. So super excited. Already looking for my fit. I think I'm gonna wear all white since we gonna technically be attending Shatala's funeral as well.
I ain't wearing all white.
I got to figure out what I'm gonna wear. I don't know if it's all white yet, but I feel like I got to show up. I got to show up clean.
This ain't gonna be dinner and blanc at the movies. I ain't even gonna do it.
Hey man, you got to come with the Black Panther fit. Got to have something new on.
Hey, you can eat at the theater too, so you gotta make sure you get your food right too. So
we gonna figure this out, bro. We're gonna figure it out. But hey, another fire episode, man. Let's shut it down.
Yeah. All right, y'all. It was great. Great episode, long episode, but lots to talk about. Next time, Wakanda Forever, comics, a bunch of stuff. We got to get ready. We're about a month away from it going down. So be prepared.
Let's do it. Hey, I'm Jeff.
I'm Kerry. Peace out.
Great Mondays, baby.